And confiture.
And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Market Buzz. Today's is an emergency broadcast. Crypto's down, markets are down, silver is down, the recession is here, and all of the defensives are down with it. my song fits so good right now. So good. Holy smokes. Why is there so many people watching us? Are people really freaking out today? Today is a day to be freaking out, I guess. 11 people live? What? Welcome to another episode of Market Buzz. If you're here and you're new, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. But yeah, wow, I'm surprised there's that many people on a Sunday paying attention to markets. I guess we're gonna have to wait until futures open to get an idea of how the rest of the week will go. But the end of the week, I end up going snowboarding. Mimi goes on a little trip, and everything hits the fan. So scary. We are hoping that this balances out. We get back to normality. Hopefully, again, there were many different factors playing on the Friday. So it wasn't like the moves were crazy. The volatility was insane to say the least. And I don't think the volatility ends anytime soon. I'm here with myself and Timothy, which he's muted right now, given the fact that this is very just spontaneous content that we're doing. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave them in the chat. We're more than happy to try to answer you to the best of our capabilities. But yeah, markets are down. People are scared, people are losing money. You're muted. So, Timothy. So, yes.
I'm gonna help out my daughter. This is very urgent.
Go,
She's
go,
asking
go,
for
go,
my help.
go, go, go. That's okay. Go, go, go. I need to get the camera so I can also go make a coffee. But yeah, today's episode is going to be an interesting one. I mean, we're going to be talking about silver and gold, how many people are calling how the market is manipulated right now, which I fully disagree with. I mean, this is fully spontaneous, so there's really not an outline for what we're going to be discussing today. So you get a chance to tell us what we want to talk about, right? If you have any questions, we'll make sure to answer those. But yeah, it's been interesting. Silver taking a massive dump, right? My song kind of fits in really nicely here, but silver down
I'm
30%
back.
on the day. um on Friday, and we have to see what happens on the Monday too. A lot of people were looking for shorts. I know I had a couple of friends looking to short silver at those levels, just a parabolic trade. But again, shorting something like that it's a scary endeavor to say the least. Um but yeah, what do we want to talk? I say we talk about silver and gold first. Or do you want to talk about Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin is also taking a dump here, breaking the 80K level. So this is starting to. It's funny because we did call the 100K level, you know, we didn't get there, because if everybody's expecting to get to 100K, we're never going to get there. But the question is,
I
do we get to
think
60 this time around?
we were right with market buzz. We were watching the 50-week moving average, and once it broke, the sentiment changed. So the 50-week here now well below. I de-risked a lot. I know Adrian did as well here,
Yeah.
and then the market basically collapsed. It didn't even revisit the 50-week moving average, so it didn't even touch it here, and it just continued lower. And now we're sitting here at a next support level. So yeah, I'm eyeing 76, 74 as a potential next support level, which we actually already hit. Yesterday it hit around 75.5k. So pretty decent dump yesterday, was down minus 9%. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw my theory on why stocks and crypto were crashing due to silver, because the thing is, with all those leverage traders on silver, because everyone was piling in,
Yeah.
um, the sudden reverse, it was a 30% drop, brings a lot of risk to market makers. And before closure time, they try to balance their sheets, and they need to sell the most liquid assets, which is stocks and crypto. So that's what we saw last week. A lot of stocks selling off. It was broad, it was not sector specific, and also crypto that kept selling off. So I do think next week will be key. If we see silver, gold pulling back more, we might see it fizzle into stocks again, into crypto some more. So I want to see how markets open on Monday and see if silver and gold stabilize. I've been taking profits on my silver trades gradually.
It was a fantastic
Um,
trade for you. I mean, you've been riding this since what, 30?
it was here around 40.
Okay. Insanity.
And I think I took profits at around 70, 80, and then again at around 100, and then also at around 120, just the day before the dump is when I took profits. But I still own like 0.5 allocation, because you never know, this thing is just gonna continue higher. But I do think this is a top in the market for commodities, gold as well. This is like the blog I wrote today was talking about the gold cycles. They take around 8 years, and you can see every 8 years there is like a high on the right part of these 8 years. Right now we're seeing a high on the left part of the 8 years, so I think this is just gonna be a mid cycle correction and then trend higher again. Because my take is that gold is still very bullish, but now it's gonna need some time to consolidate and then move higher again. Is it gonna revisit 3K, or is it gonna stay stable at 4K? It will depend on how strong it is, but likely for until, let's say, September 2026, we're gonna see some consolidation. Hopefully, just some sideways price action and not too steep. But I'm definitely gonna buy more during that time frame.
Nice. Well, do you keep up with futures markets, Timothy?
Uh, for gold, for silver,
For gold and silver, it's super interesting the moves that we're seeing right now, which are not the norm, right? There's something going on in terms of the futures markets that is affecting the gold, the silver and gold price, right? So one of the theories around silver, at least silver right now, is that given the fact that China is like considering silver a rare earth now, right? Like the restrictions have increased drastically. People want silver today, right? And if you look at the futures markets, the pricing for gold, the pricing for silver for March, April, May, and June are about the same level, right? Which is sitting at right now $85, right? And what was the close of silver? What was the close of silver
on the
spot
day,
price? Yeah, spot price.
because this is futures, like
85,
85.
right? The February 2026 future prices was sitting at 84. So actually futures prices was lower than the what's it called, the futures price was lower than the spot price, which
Spot.
usually says that investors want the gold now, not promises of it in the future. And this is because of all the different ETFs, ETPs, and all of the different products, leverage products that are out there that are creating this unbalance between production of gold, demand of gold, and actual pricing of gold. It's super interesting. It's been super interesting. And it's like this is such a weird market because like usually people that trade silver are very like degens. You know what I mean? Like usually it's like it's not the normal guy. It's not the normal investors that's buying this, right? And it's had such an incredible rally that has just brought so much more money from retail investors, and it's been in such in all of the headlines in a sense, right? But the fact is that it's almost like it's an effect on futures too. It's like, okay, maybe we don't have enough gold to fulfill those contracts, so we need to figure out a way to get gold today, or silver today, right? So some of the moves that we're seeing is just potentially gamma squeezes of people buying the options and doing all the different things.
So much leverage, and it's all being flushed out. I pity
Correct.
the people that were standing in a line the other day to buy more gold and more silver. Those people will become gold bugs, as they say, people that just bag hold gold for many years, hoping for it
Yeah.
to recover. I'm not saying it's gonna take years for a recovery, but I do think like a couple of months before we see new highs again, which is basically what I'm seeing in Bitcoin as well. Well, because yesterday was just a confirmation that Bitcoin is actually in a 4 year cycle. So whenever we look at the 4 year cycle for crypto, um, we know there's 3 years up and 1 year down. I wrote it here, and I've been saying it for a while now. Bitcoin topped in October, so 1 year later, Bitcoin is gonna bottom in October 2026. So that's how it's been all the time. Is it gonna happen again? I'm not sure. There is this theory that says we didn't see euphoria, so we might see price move down less than it would in the other cycles. So meaning less drawdown compared to other cycles because there was no euphoria phase. Um, while on the side of silver, which was in euphoria top, so this is a parabolic top, and this is already a correction. So it's down 30% in one day, comparing to Bitcoin, which is down 30% in a few weeks. Okay. So
Yeah.
how you correct down is based on how the top is formed. So this was more a sustained uptrend, while silver was just unsustainable and going up in a parabolic fashion. So we should expect silver to crash hard and steep in a short term, while Bitcoin is probably gonna continue down, but at a slower pace. Like, um, actually, I prefer silver. Just uh, rip off the band-aid. Bitcoin is more going to be like moving up again, and then people trying to call the bottom, jump in again, but getting wrecked when things go down again. And this can take also a lot of time. And as I said, on the monthly time frame, I'm aiming for October to have a bottom somewhere.
Dang. Okay. And then what are your thoughts on Ethereum in this case? Because Ethereum also took a massive hit.
Yes, Ethereum did get a massive hit, and it's struggling to stay at its support level here. And I was always saying, like, if you're gonna hold an altcoin, hold Ethereum. But yeah, even Ethereum got smashed. In my portfolio, I only held Bitcoin just to reduce risk. But now that I know for certain that this is just gonna play out like a typical 4 year cycle, it's very likely that if Bitcoin drops lower, Ethereum is just gonna break down and it's gonna hit that 1,800 level very soon, which I'm eyeing. So
Okay.
around
So
here.
what are your price targets both for Bitcoin and Ethereum right now?
So if Bitcoin, let's say if Bitcoin goes to 60K, okay, which is in line with the 200 weekly moving average here, then I would say yes, that's possible because each cycle Bitcoin did hit that 200 moving average. And then I would say Ethereum is likely going to around 1,800.
But are you going to be
I don't
buying
think
as
it
the
will
price
take out
starts?
this
Yeah.
low.
Are you okay? But you're going to be buying as it comes down, or you're just like hoping to get at 1,800 and
So I will basically buy when the time is right. And for me, looking at cycles, that would be looking at altcoins somewhere here. So I'm not gonna touch altcoins before this date.
okay,
Maybe if we see some bullish momentum when the new chair Fedman gets up, yeah, how do you say that, on his place,
appointed.
appointed,
Yeah.
I will watch for indicators that turn bullish again, but not before May, not
So that would
before
be the
May.
June
So
June
just
data.
ignoring crypto a bit um, in the first half year, and then let's see how it plays out for the second half year. Same for altcoins. I mean,
Yeah.
have you seen the charts? They're all breaking down. XRP, I said many times, if it's gonna break this level, it's gonna hit 90 cents. That's the target for XRP.
Let's see.
Solana broke 118. Yeah, I'm watching much lower, like 50. We have
Jimmy Call.
some others. Link breaking down. It's going back to this range at $7, $6. So all the top coins are headed lower.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on MicroStrategy currently?
So same for what, MicroStrategy. Same for MicroStrategy actually. It's it's always leading Bitcoin. So once MicroStrategy resumes higher again, we know the bear market is ended. So I will keep a close eye on MicroStrategy. And just like in last cycle, it also topped 1 year after. Um, so last cycle, it also bottomed 1 year after the top. So if we take uh, the top here around, wait, this was a bad place to measure the top. I think this was the top without the liquidations. So around July, August for MicroStrategy, I would stay patient.
Okay. Yeah, the thing
But
is like
right now, not
MicroStrategy and
watching.
all of the crypto related stocks are gonna be sort of in this like limbo until we get some clarity with what happens with Bitcoin. And if we're following the 4 year cycle in this case, we're saying, okay, like let's wait until the 2026, which sort of falls within our narrative that this year might not be the best. Like I'm still super
No,
bullish for the start of the year, but we could see starting like the volatility start halfway through the year as we understand what this Kevin, well, at least like the second quarter of this year is when I'm expecting a little bit of volatility here. I was
and I
hearing
did buy Mara, but I'm gonna
but
close this
yeah,
position.
you are like the thing is at this levels I just don't think that it's worth closing. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's actually extremely well priced.
I know. For me, it was a trade. Like
Okay.
I was taking a trade based on taking out the swing low, and now it's probably gonna close lower than where my entry point was. So I will get out and just wait for confirmation, and that's what I'm doing with crypto.
Yeah, the
Just
thing is like
on the
the one
sideline
thing
and wait for confirmation.
I would just wait for after the earnings just in case. Because the thing is like Mara has two narratives on top, right? And both narratives are taking a major hit. But I think that they just finished their first inference data center, and we would have to see if any clients are starting to sign up to this. So this is something very important to keep in mind: is that after the earnings, we could potentially get a during the earnings, we could get a little announcement on just how the AI inference sector is playing out, which I think would be bullish. I would wait, but it's up to you. Again, it's up to you. You know, because this
I'm
stock
gonna
is
see
something
how
that
it
right.
opens on Monday because I can imagine
Correct.
it's gonna be a big gap
100%.
down.
100%, 100%. And after the Bitcoin moves that we've seen, but yeah, like for me, that's a buying opportunity. So I'm gonna be eyeing a couple of call options for next year. I'm gonna extend it. I'm just gonna give it a year and a half for them to execute. And I think they would be
Yeah,
able to, So it'd be
a
interesting.
lot can happen in a year, and like I
Correct.
said, because of the top Bitcoin had, it was really sustainable. So not euphoric. That means that the bottom could come early instead of
Yeah.
a
Later.
big sharp correction until the end of the year. So definitely we're gonna keep on watching every week. I mean, people should follow us on eToro, check our profiles, and
Our
it's all in
portfolios.
our portfolios. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all live, every trade we make.
Correct. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe if you're finding the content good. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Dragos, welcome. Jimmy, welcome. Shiva, welcome. But yeah, it's been an interesting. You know which one has been paying the bills, even though the market has been going crazy? Not gas. I'm so surprised at that trade. It's been doing so well. I've been exiting as it's been coming up, but holy smokes, has it been nice.
You think
And it's just,
it's gonna head higher?
I think it still has room to grow. Like the winters here are still the winters are still a little bit like we still have a little bit of time for that, and I just think this caught off a lot of people off guard.
Mm.
Usually there is an indicator on Finbiz that I'm using right now that tells you like the big commercial hedgers, and they're starting to de-risk a little bit. So I've been de-risking as the price has been going up. I de-risked when it hit 5. It went down to like a little bit. I've also de-risked. I have a call like I still have a couple of leverage positions that I'm trading, and I think that it's going to potentially continue to just go a little bit up, a little bit higher. But yeah, this is just a trade to kind of like play the market sentiment and just the news. Like right when we saw the Venezuelan news, gas took a massive hit down. December it took a massive hit down. Expectations was that winter was going to be mild. It was not. It's been one of the coldest winters here, at least in the UK and in the US. So we ended up taking advantage of that for sure. Nat gas was an interesting one, but again, this can change really quickly, right? Like what we understand with commodities and we're seeing in the price of silver and gold is that this shit moves, right? Momentum to the upside, momentum to the downside. So if you can't hold the reins of the horse, don't get on the horse, because this horse kicks. All of the commodity horses kick, right? So, and if you're going with leverage, you're asking for trouble at that point, right?
And I'm watching consumer staples here for a breakout. You
Ooh,
see, last week was another push higher, and I've been saying consumer staples is very undervalued compared to the S&P 500. Currently, it's up 7% for the year. S&P is up 1%. So big outperformers by consumer staples. I'm holding PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, Procter and Gamble, but you also have good picks like Costco and Walmart.
yeah. Well,
But
Target. I've been writing Target, and I'm super
Target,
surprised at how
yes.
Target has been going. Like this year to date, Target has treated me really nice. It's not a crazy move, but it's a move. I think we reached 115 at one point. My entry was around 90. So sometimes it's not even the hot thing, it's just the thing that's been getting beat up. Can I get in, get out, right? I do
And
think that they have
have
a
you
lot of
been
upside.
buying Microsoft?
I bought Microsoft. I bought a 3x. And I'm potentially increasing that position on Monday too as well. I bought some more on the Friday as well.
Mm.
Like I think that the Microsoft the issue right now, obviously like the OpenAI is a big like the OpenAI contracts are a big problem, right? But it doesn't seem like OpenAI is going to slow down anytime soon.
Why is it a
Amazon
big
just
problem?
because the thing is just like so the problem with like Oracle and Microsoft is like a lot of their backlog is based on OpenAI delivering, and if OpenAI doesn't deliver, like I think it's like 250 billions of the backlog is just OpenAI, and the thing is like 350 billion, so it's like 100 billion is of other companies, and then 250 billion, which is 60% of the backlog in data center plays, is based on a private company that's losing tons of money And like, yeah, it has an innovative product, but it needs adoption, right? And we've sort of got into the part of the curve where adoption slows down, so they have to innovate at a crazy rate, and it's a big gamble, right? It's the same problem that Oracle has. It's the same problem that all of these companies that want to sell data center revenue are have in relation to the data center place. Is like, the more you're betting on this company doing well, what happens if they can't get the capital? If they don't get the capital in order to spend, and the question is how long can they get the capital before the consumers have to step in and actually, because the investors are going to give up at some point or another. It's like, I've given you enough money, right? So it's a big if, right? It's a big if, right?
And
So
that's
that's
the
what
reason
scares me.
why Apple is going up so much, because Apple is like the only Mac 7 stocks that isn't heavily invested in AI.
Correct.
And in the beginning, it was getting a lot of hate because they weren't investing and they were being left aside. Google, Meta, Amazon, Microsoft heavily investing in AI. What was
Yeah.
Apple doing? Nothing. And now, latest earnings showed enormous growth in their iPhones, and um, also they revealed they're not investing in AI, and that seems like the inverse trade right now. If you're not investing in
Correct.
AI, it's good for the company, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, these things need to be generating more income and better profitability. And right now, Apple is not seeing that.
Yeah.
Google, they're all using AI, and Meta especially using AI in ads, so to target people, to target more efficiently for their ads. So that's working,
Yeah.
but it's not the same story for Apple. Apple wants to know how is AI going to uh, get us more money, and
Yeah,
right
it's
now
how
there
does it
isn't
fit to
the
their
formula.
ecosystem? Yeah, it's how does it fit in their ecosystem in order for users to adopt easy? And the thing is they have the benefit of having the gates, and they just bought, like, they just rent out. I think they're using Gemini for Siri, right? So it's like
Yeah,
they're
they
you're
have so
a,
many devices, and
yeah,
they can just in one go launch it, and billions of people will use AI suddenly, but it needs to be perfect. I
yeah,
think it can be a flop. It must
no,
be perfect before they launch it, and that's what they are waiting for.
yeah. No, that's the thing. The benefit of, for example, one of the things that the CEO of Microsoft has said is that it doesn't matter if OpenAI doesn't deliver because they need the compute anyways. And I do believe that to be true, right? Like, I don't see compute slowing down anytime soon. The story continues to be that they're willing to pay. It's a blank check to all of the players. So SanDisk, Micron, all of these different companies are benefiting from that rally, right? It is the truth, right? So whenever we start seeing that slowdown, and we have to keep paying attention to the earnings and how they come and what are the guidance and expectations, and we start seeing a slowdown in capex spending or margins or revenues, is when we start getting worried. But so far, at least for Microsoft, I'm not worried, right? And even Adobe, right? Like, this is super interesting because we're talking about how Apple on the one side not investing in AI sort of puts you into in a category where you can borrow the AI from the winners. Adobe could do the same. I think they just implemented a Nano Banana into their service, right? So it's like all of these different plays. As long as you have the customer base, you can actually monetize that customer base. The value is not in the software; it's in the customer base and in the platform that you've created.
Yeah, investors are forgetting the network effect. I mean,
Correct.
Adobe, Apple, they all have a network effect, meaning that the more people use their products, the better these features become.
Correct.
And mm, I know a lot of people using Adobe, and they're not leaving the platform because it's becoming so sticky for them to leave. And it's a learning process as well to use Adobe, so they're not just gonna throw away years of training just to try
Go to the
edit
new
something
cool
with
thing.
Nano Banana and
Yeah.
become a subscriber there. No, they love the products, and they would love to have Google's features on Adobe, or
Correct.
I don't know, ChatGPT's features on Adobe.
Yeah.
The same with Apple users. They're gonna wait until devi- uh, they have their devices with AI. They're not gonna go buy a Samsung or go buy a Google phone just because they want to use AI. They're gonna wait until Apple figures out how to integrate AI with the devices, with their laptops, with their smartphones, with their um, head earbuds, everything. So
Of
at
course.
the end of the day, they are leading the way, and they're gonna decide when and how.
Correct. No, I think so too, right? Like this gives them a lot of leeway, right? And I just don't think that the decline that we're seeing is warranted based on the increased growth of new products and new services. Yeah, maybe the new clientele would go, but you still have to fall within categories for the big companies and all that stuff. So, like that's the same for Microsoft in this case too, right? Where Microsoft is like, hey, everybody's like saying Copilot is trash, and it's true. Copilot is not competing with the latest LLMs, but the reality is they don't have to, right? Like they're the person that uses Copilot is not the latest and fastest AI user. It's probably like my dad, right? Which he's like, oh, I'm gonna draft an email with Copilot and I need security so my data doesn't get leaked. Then you just have the security and it's built in within the ecosystem and it's just gonna be a matter of like renewing into new data set. It's just like, hey, AI is gonna actually solve it, like it's actually gonna improve productivity, and then you give it a try 1, 2, 3 years, and then you see that growth. It's just going to take a while, right? I don't think adoption is that simple for big companies because there's a lot of revenue that can be lost if something goes wrong, right? Like the reason Nike pays millions of dollars for a photo is not because they're looking to get a deal, right? It's because if they don't get their advertising thing done properly, they'll lose more than that, right? So it's like the cost of not doing business is more than the cost of the cost of whatever service you're getting. You know, it's a big problem here, which is one of the things why I like ChatGPT, right? A lot of people say, "Oh, $20 for ChatGPT, that's absurd." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's $20 to use the latest model that's actually helping me create over $1,000, $2,000 worth of revenue, right?" So it's like, yeah,
It's
it's worth
bringing
it to
more
me.
value. It's not
Yeah,
the same like having a Netflix subscription, which is
correct.
$10, which is
And
just brain rot.
correct, correct. And you don't have to deal with competitors like WeFlix. We don't have to deal with competitors like WeFlix that come in and just like steal all your content and put it out for free. It's
Have
crazy.
you tried DeepSeek?
DeepSeek, I've tried it for a little bit, but no, I've stayed away from it because like I know you can run it locally and stuff, but because of everything on all the costs. Hey Graham, how you doing? Right? I haven't sort of like I know like I already have, so I have Perplexity, I have Grok, and then I have ChatGPT subscriptions on three, and then I'll make them do research on the three screens that I have in front of me. But
Yeah.
I haven't thought of like I haven't explored. I haven't even tested the Llama model yet. But also something important about the meta development was that apparently they sold 3 times the more glasses than they expected. So the meta glasses is going to be an interesting
Yeah,
development
they
in the
look
meta
really
story.
nice. They look really nice.
And I'm not gonna lie, the number of times that I'm like at the dentist, or the number of times I'm just like driving and I just want to have a look at the Bitcoin price and just being able to like just like have it at the side of the screen and just being able to just like look really quickly would be sick. Like just hey, S&P 500 price and just show me the chart really quickly. That'd be great. So I wonder how long would it take for the developers to start making? Because I wonder how hard it is to actually start making things on Open Door. Is where, but somebody's asking about Open Door. But yeah, Meta right now. Interesting. Yo, well, you look at that because I have no idea of this company. Open Door is software? No, right? I think they are.
Open Door Technologies.
No, it's residential real estate. I actually like Rocket better. Yeah. I know this company. I actually like Rocket better because this one is the where the guy joined and the company went euphoric and parabolic, and
From a
right?
technical perspective, this looks like a solid buy if it can hold this level, because it's testing multiple levels here. Um, but I'm curious, yeah, just as a trade, I wouldn't invest because first of all, I don't know nothing about the company, but second of all, you want to have
It's
companies
mortgage
that
rates.
continue to have great earnings.
Yeah, it's mortgage rates. The company's this company, as I understand. Let me open up my
that that's not consistent increasing earnings, so I personally stay out if I see something like this for the long term at least.
all right.
If it's a trade, it's a trade, you get in, you get out. But how I like
Yeah.
to see
Okay.
wait,
So they're losing money. Okay. They're losing money, 14% shorted. Have a look. Sales declining sales rapidly. And shares outstanding, they're diluting shareholders. Let's have a look here. I mean, like, you know which one I like more? RKT. I like Rocket.
this one.
Well, the thing is you have to, Graham. So that was the thing. So that was something I wanted to talk about and didn't discuss. So we're talking about January, right? So it's like that's rebalancing, end of the month, hedge fund stuff. Makes sense, right? We did go up at the start of the month. Then there's like a lot of fears that kind of like materialize. So we have the Fed, we have Iran, we have what else? The
The
Fed,
shutdown.
Iran, the shutdown. Those three things are going to create fear. There was a lot of fear packed up in the last couple of days, right? And a lot of volatility in some assets that just created fear, right? So it's like if you were levered, it's going to make you sell some things, right? So big players that were levered into precious metals or different products would have to sell. So the volatility was understandable. The fact that we went down and up and down and up and down and up on the Friday was such a crazy moving day. That tells me it was just like within the parameters of just like profit taking, rebalancing, and then like panic selling too. So do we see Mondays and Monday better off? Maybe not. Usually markets don't end it. Yeah, wash too, right? So it's like all of these different fears, and it was kind of like because I was expecting Trump to say the announcement on this week, this coming week, but he ended up pushing it forward. So, but
And
that can
also
change.
gonna
It's
see how
Trump,
silver moves next week. Like
correct?
if silver continues to crash down, there's gonna be a lot more deleveraging.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of leverage to move the price the ways that they did. We're talking about like gold moved 10%. That's a $35 trillion asset. That's a 3.5, $350 billion move. 350 billion dollars. UNH is 350 billion dollars, right? It's like
Se move a casa.
so yeah.
Oh yeah, let's watch UNH.
Yeah, UNH took a massive hit. And I think the story, I mean, like this is a turnaround story and it'll take longer than expected because of all the government contracts that they have. So this is going to take longer than expected. I think 2027 is the play. But a lot of negative news right after the other. So the volatility will continue to be here, right? Earnings were good so far, but did get some mixed stuff. Tesla, the robotaxi promises from Elon. But RKT took a massive hit because of the new Fed share too. But yeah, Tesla, interesting. Yeah, like RKT, I like better. Forward PE is expected to come down to 21. They're expecting to become profitable. They're worth $60 billion. Market cap is 50. The short flow is a little bit lower. The insiders own around 70%. This is interesting. RKT. I like RKT. Took a massive, massive hit. But this is just because of the fears of interest rates. But and the discussion that me and Dimitris had is that if Warsh becomes Fed president, the long end of the bond market might actually start coming, those yields might start coming down because there's more security on how the Fed will behave and there will be less printing, less inflation, all of these different things would be the target. So we're expecting that mortgage rate to actually come down a little bit, which would be good for companies like RKT and Open Door. The thing is because a little, I don't think it's the only thing. I think this was part of it, But this was interest rate sensitive. So companies like Arcade got affected, Graham, but the rest, right? Like there's other moves that are not directly related to this, right? So market dynamics, this has an effect because they were expecting him to be the hawkish Fed member, but I don't think is the only thing that's affecting markets, right? It's the shutdown, it's the all of the things that we talked about
Are
before.
you
Iran.
surprised Trump is choosing him?
Yes and no. You know, this so there were two things, right? So it's like this tells me two things, right? Tells me that Trump wants lower rates, but he also doesn't want to collapse the American economy. So he's choosing the best candidate for the job, which in this case is Warsh, right? His resume looks on paper, he looks like a golden child. I disagree with it, but he looks like a golden child, right? And the second one was that if you choose somebody that you can manipulate or mold easy, the Fed ain't going to pay attention to, right? Like the Fed chair is only one vote within the bigger structure of the federal of the FOMC. So you need somebody that actually has control. Now, if you choose somebody that doesn't have the power to actually influence the board, what will happen? What will end up happening is that Jerome Powell will stay in power and he will dictate what the Fed does. So you'll have a shadow fair Fed chair, right? People will just go in and say, "Hey, Powell, what should I do?" Right? So you end up doing that, right? So there's still like this sentiment of like how the game is played within the FOMC that needs to be taken into consideration. And the fact is that Trump can get to 1% right now, right? He says he wants 1%, but that's like the way Trump negotiates, which is like, hey, give me 1% so we can be somewhere lower. He wants to go lower, but this time around, he did not talk about interest rates. He didn't say they should like it should come lower, blah blah blah, all of these different things that he usually says. And now he's choosing somebody that's hawkish, so that the market is starting to calm down a little bit. Again, this can change. We know Trump. Trump can say tomorrow, well, fuck Warsh. I don't like him. I'm not going to give him the job. I'm going to present someone else, right? There's still time, right? So it's just like right now, like I believe he's going to be the Fed chair, but we have to pay attention to that. I think it has. I think it has. And you know why? Because they already, so Marco Rubio says something in geopolitics, right? Graham, he says, you know, it's not what you say, it's what you do. And in this case, it's what Trump is doing. Trump is moving the armada to Iran. So he's exerting his power over there. He's making moves over there. So the market will act based on that. It doesn't have to be a strike for them to preemptively price that in. It's not fully priced in, but it's priced in. If you look at the chances of Iran stricken by getting by June, it's like 70 to 80%, right? So it's like the poly market is expecting this to hit. Also, we can have a look at the pizza indicator if you want to look at that pizza indicator. Let me have a look. So this is something that I just recently found out, which is hilarious, is the pizza indicator around the Pentagon, right? And right now we are in DEFCON 4, which means that, what does it mean? Give me a second. It is increased intelligence watch, but there is nothing imminent yet. Now, how does this indicator work? Which is crazy. This indicator works based on the number of orders or pieces that go to the Pentagon around the Pentagon. So if the number of pizzas increases and the number of orders to the Pentagon increases, it means that more people have to stay over to make decisions and pay attention. So we could see eminent moves around here, right? So it's like something might happen, but it's like we're very low, right? We're very low.
And when it's very high, what's the outcome for the macro?
So usually when it's very high is that something is about to happen, right? So maybe they Israel like the Iran is gonna like there's gonna be an Iran strike from by the Americans or something, or something's gonna
Can you
happen. That
go
means that a
back
lot of
for whenever the Venezuelan president was captured?
yeah. Here, let me have a look. There
Was
was
it high?
I'm sure there is here history. Yeah, apparently there's like a gay bar report. It's hilarious. There, let me go back.
And who is watching this?
I think a lot like this is like based on Polymarket and stuff, you know? It's like, well, okay, so this
There's
was
so
the
many ways
Venezuela.
to make money.
It's crazy, dude.
If you're not a good trader, just bet on the pizzas.
I'm trying to figure out because this happened a while back, right? So here. So it was like I think it was like around here. The index was around like higher, and right now it's like way lower. But the thing is like each indicator is like around. I have to like dig deeper, but this is like based on like higher conflicts worldwide. So tricky. Something I'm paying attention to, just to pay attention to it. Yeah, there's like different markets, different things, and they incorporate all of these different things to give you a number. But yeah, like
Interesting.
they give you all the different pizza places that there are around. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. But yeah, so we'll see. I don't think February is the year, the month where we get a strike from Iran. But yeah, something I'm paying attention to. I keep it in mind just in case. I would love to see what the chart is. I'm sure there's a way to get to a chart. I just again
Have you seen the full moon indicator?
no.
People use it for Bitcoin. It's stupid, but it works. So whenever there's a blue moon, price drops, and whenever there's a gray
Full moon.
moon, yeah, price should go up again. So right now we're gray. So this is your short-term bullish indicator based on the moons.
Well, there's like a ton of different ones, so
And it's not really correlated, but it's a 60% win rate, so better than any trader.
oh man. Any other questions you guys have? We've done 45 minutes, Timothy. That's pretty nice. This was spur of the moment thing,
Yeah.
literally. I still have to grab some food, but
Emergency. Here in
emergency
troubles.
broadcast.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe put on some songs you made.
I haven't made any new ones yet. So I definitely gotta get that on those books. But yeah, if you have any questions, don't forget to put them in the comments. We're always trying to answer. We're always paying attention to markets. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. If we're live, there's something to talk about. And if we're not live, there's probably something to talk about as well. So don't forget to hit that like and make sure to check out our portfolios down below. Yeah, does the full moon indicator work similar to the MacRib chart? Maybe.
No, I think the McRib is more long term. The full moon is more like 1 to 2 weeks time frame. Yeah.
Well, they're gonna try to. They're gonna try to come out at the top, right? The question would be what happens after that and who will be able to do
I think like
a
as
lot.
we saw in the dot-com bubble, there were a lot companies not making profits, but it took a while before we saw a blow off top in technologies. I think we're gonna see at least a few more years the AI rally continue.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. Graham asked, how did the skiing go? Man, so like no, you know what? It wasn't even that I spent that much time on my ass. Is the fact that I'm a snowboarder and the Pumas and the freaking T-bars beat me up. And I am heavy right now. I am so heavy. So I have been this has been my posture for the last 3 days. I haven't been able to stand straight. But I do feel better today. So I did manage, like I've been trying to read markets and stuff, but it was like yeah, I ended up going on a Tuesday, and it was not a good idea. Markets, like, I'm glad I didn't face the volatility because it's like it was crazy, just the moves that we saw. And it was funny because I left and I looked at my portfolio and I was down, but I was like, okay, this is within a normal parameter. So like I'm not gonna freak out. And then when I came back, I looked at it and I was like, okay, this is within the normal parameters. And when I looked at the intraday a couple of days ago, it was like, holy smokes! Like it was like bam, 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 bam. Same for Friday. So I haven't been able to move for the last couple of days. I'm finally but I'm like getting back into the exercise. I'm getting back into like getting fit. So I need to just, yeah. But my back was killing. It's still killing me because I still have to like deal with stuff today. But yeah, everything's good so far. Everything's good so far. Thanks for asking. I didn't die, which is great. I didn't die. Oh man, I actually
I
want to
have a
know if
question for the chat. Is anyone
Mhm.
here holding altcoins, and if so, which ones? So we can give us our honest opinion about it. We can look at some charts
I
of
believe. Oh my
your
God, they have
favorite
13 lives open.
magic internet money.
See, they keep lying to me. They say they're gonna open chairlifts, and then they don't open the chairlifts, and they're liars. Why are they lying? Insane, insane. I'd have to go next week at some point skiing too. Chairlifts would be so much fun.
Anyone remember Fartcoin? You almost bought Fartcoin, remember?
I have some. I have some of all of them. Like not a lot. Like I have so one of the things I have not a lot of Peppercoin. I have
Pepe.
like Pepe, yeah. So and I have a lot of Peppercoin because it was like I told a friend I was like, whenever you pay me, you're gonna pay me in Pepe. I don't care at the price, right? So if I buy a coffee, he pays me in Pepe. If I buy something, he pays me in Pepe. And I'm just gonna keep it. You know what I mean? It's like I'm just assuming I'm gonna lose the money anyway. So it's like just pay me in Pepe. And it's great. And if I become a billionaire because of Pepe, that would be hilarious. You know? Like I'll just be like, I was buying coffees with Pepe and that's it, you know? So that's been sort of a little bit of fun. But
Okay,
in terms
if
of
we don't
altcoins,
have
I'm
questions, Nestor, I'm gonna head out.
all right, all right. Thanks
Need to
everybody for
need to
watching. We really
need to play
appreciate you,
here.
Steven. Steve, Steve Evans. My bad. I put everything together. My brain just mumbled. Jimmy, Graham, thanks for popping by. L, Dragos, you guys are the MVP. Shift. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It helps the channel a ton. And hopefully we can get more tendies. I swear to God. Today's a good day to go skiing. If it continues like this, it'd be so good. I want to go again, but I bought a snowboard, but I don't have it here. It's in doing. I put it in service. So, all right. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Good to see you
Bye
all.
bye.
Peace.